Welcome to What's in My Drawers Golf Talk. Jim McCleary here, 7-time Top 100 Golf Digest America's Best Fitter. And this is What's in My Drawers Golf Talk. Why? Because it's What's in My Drawers over there. And we talk about club fittings, club repairs, club opinions, club reviews, and a whole lot of stuff in between. Today, the topic is going to be on women and in golf, women getting fit in golf, and do the women get treated right in golf, that kind of stuff. First and foremost, though, if you would like and subscribe, hit that stuff across the bottom. That way, this stuff gets out to the YouTube universe, and maybe we can get a few more subscribers out of it. I mean, that's the bottom line. Well, and make sure you guys get some information for sure, right? Okay, so as always, we start with Sanderson Farms was on. I have no idea who won the thing. I was watching. There was a guy I've never heard of that was in the lead by 3 shots. I hope he carried it through, but I don't know. So if you guys know who it is, let me know. As far as this last weekend went, it has turned into fall finally. And we went from mid 70s to low 80s, actually. In fact, the last day driving home from work was probably mid 80s. And the very next day, it was in the 40s. So, hell of a drop, right? Of course, I had a tee time scheduled for Sunday, and this is what I saw when I got up getting ready to go. 40, 41. Now, I am a self-admitted fair weather golfer. 41's a bit tight for me, but I figured it's the first 40-degree day. The land's still going to be kind of warm. It's not supposed to be blowy, and it was all good. And it was the very first time I ever wore a pullover hoodie to go golfing. And boy, am I glad I did. I had a little vest underneath to keep the core warm, and then this hoodie, which had a lot of flexibility in it, and it was pretty good. The shot a 40 on the front and playing with my buddy Bob, and I actually chipped one in. I played more like him than he did on the front, and then he turned around and woke up and then ended up spanking me on the back. So I chipped one in, made a couple long putts, and no 3 putts, a couple of 1 putts, and 1 4 putt, and that was what got me beat on the back. I just could not find the hole. This thing was on this crazy shelf, and I was just beating myself up throwing it around. However, just to kind of give you an idea, here in Southern Ohio, things tend to look a little different. The tree, this is Appalachia, and there's all kinds of different shapes and sizes of trees, and they all start turning color. And this is probably one of the nicest places on the planet to visit when it's in the fall. And we're starting to see stuff like this. The greenery is in. The leaves are starting to change. It's not quite there on this particular one, but we're getting close. And you can see it back in here. This is, the course that I was playing was Crown Hill, and it was just looking very, very, very nice. And here is another one. This is a par 3 going up a hill with a tree on the right. Pardon me. And another one. This is a long par 5. This is right at 500-yard par 5. And then finally a nice knockdown shot. And that was a nice, easy one right there. All righty. So not too bad. It was a lot of fun. As far as stuff built, apparently it did not come back over. Let's see if I can find it real quick for you guys. I did a lot of repairing this weekend. A lot of repairing. And, well, there it is. And let's put those in here. There we go. When they start popping in. So we did a lot of repairing. I had the most amount of broken driver shafts in 1 week I think I've ever had. And it just so happens that either one, they would bring the shaft with them, and it was some of the craziest stuff. We had Ping G30s, and they put these rocket ball shafts in it. And I'm like, what are you doing? That's the only one I got. All right, well, we'll put it in for you. And then other ones that we had Ping, TaylorMade, Titleist. I never did change out a Callaway, and a couple others, but they were all, all different models. There wasn't one that was the same. It was really quite cool. And see, it's doing it again to me. Let's see if I can go back and get it again. So it wasn't my fault. What I'm doing here is I'm looking at some clubs and see if I can get it to come on here. Alrighty, so some of the builds. Remember, we were talking about the coast to coast stuff. We had a guy in Washington or Delaware and a guy in California, and this was part of the build going to the East Coast. And I think that gentleman's going to like it. Here is as part of the video for tomorrow, we are going to do how to switch those out. And be more like how to switch those out or how to switch those out. It's the same one. It's the same one. So the topic of tomorrow's video is how to pull a shaft adapter, and these are two different kinds. So a golfer that is in Woodstock, Georgia, Ed Shepard is a instructor down there, and he sends a lot of work our way, and it's very high end work as far as for elite type players. This golfer plays for Georgia Southern, I believe is what they call it, and he had a TS3 with a red Ventus 5S in it. Now, apparently, this kid's got game, and he ordered a, pardon me, had a TS3 with a Ventus Black 6S in it. Yeah, 6S or 6X, and got a TaylorMade Stealth 2 in the patriotic colors, as you saw, with a red Ventus in it. That is nowhere near that TR number. So we ended up pulling them out, switching them, putting them back in, and then doing all the things that they wanted me to do. So Dad got a driver and Junior got a driver out of that. So not too bad. All right. So that's what we were looking at. And if I can go back and get one more picture for you. Let's see if we can get down here. And I'll give you here's the irons. You saw the woods for them. We'll see if we can get the irons in here. Anyway, that was a lot of drilling out, a lot of broken irons or drivers, and they're all broken right at the top, except for a couple of irons. And of course, the funny part about all of this is the is the excuses. Oh, I just hit it and it went down the fairway. Okay, all right, we hear you. Or I just tossed it to the golf cart. Hell, I'm guilty of that one. So, and here's the irons that are going to Delaware. So yeah, we two up the whole 9 yards. So it's not too bad, right? It's not too bad. The one that we talked about last week with the shorter golfer, I've got the irons. They are dried. The ferrules are done. I just got to cut them and bend them. They're ready to go. The hybrids, I'm starting to take them apart, and they're Washans. The Washans have several weight ports in them, and I think every last one of these ports has a weight in it because he made the club short and he wanted it to feel heavy. Well, now we're going to make it a little bit longer, put a heavier shaft in it, and we're talking about taking weights out. And I am thinking, and we're going to put a heavier grip in it. So I'm thinking that we probably get away with it and not have to, because in order to get to most of the weights, I have to remove these sticker covers. And you can't remove the sticker covers literally without, if you don't damage them, it is spectacular, right? Because they're adhesive. You know how things, it's like pulling off a sticker and then trying to put it back on and thinking it's going to be the same. It's not. And there's one in the hosel area, and it is a very heavy tungsten one, which may turn out to be where we want to go. So I'm going to experiment with that one. If it turns out right, then that will be a video. Okay, so here we go. Oh, and today we have. Oh, and this weekend, we got to talk about the brisket I made. There we go, brisket. that was all together. It turned into some burnt ends and it turned into some slices, of which are going to make sandwiches in the very near future. I like this one, turned out pretty good. I was really happy with that one. Okay, so we've hit all a bunch of different topics all of a sudden. All right, so fitting. All right, I had the opportunity to fit a very nice. We'll call her a gal. She had graduated high school and she's getting ready to go to college, and that's her right there. And we put her, and she'd been playing golf for 4 years, and it became readily apparent that she'd been playing with ill-fitted stuff. And of course, they made the same guess purchase mistake that just about every parent would make, that because a lot of parents just don't know that, a lot that don't play golf and the kids take up golf, is that, okay, she's a lady, so let's get a lady set, and find out that she's a much stronger golfer and can't figure out why these clubs don't work, while she hits behind the ball, why they go flying in every direction, why they're uncomfortable, the whole gambit. And then they play dad's clubs, and because dad's now taking it up and dad's taller, and now they all of a sudden she likes dad's clubs. Well, it's because she's a stronger golfer. Okay, so let's start this off. In the world of golf, women are assumed that you're going to need a club that is shorter, a club that is way more flexible, a club with a much smaller grip, and something that's pink. Okay, and unfortunately, that doesn't fit a lot of the golfers I see in here. Now, the average golfer, the one that wants to take it up, that once a month kind of golfer, goes out with the husband, or it's not a league person, that kind of thing. Okay, that works. But if you get anybody that's athletic, or somebody gets very avid, those clubs become antiques really, really fast. All right, and they stop working almost immediately. Now, what I have found is, in the majority, of course, like just like guys, there's no one solid rule, that typically, a lot of the ladies that take this up are truly ex athletes or gifted, and they're either a little bit taller, and they have longer fingers, and because they have longer fingers, larger grips work. Now, so it's funny. I get to see a lot of the ladies light up when I go, "Yeah, you're in a men's standard. You're in a S flex or a hard R or something like that." They light up because they can play a man's club. Well, that's wrong. That's not a man's club. It's a club that fits you, right? I don't say this is. I say the only thing that I say men's standard with is grip size, because that's the way they're labeled. Okay, I could just say this is a standard grip, and then this is an undersized grip, and that's an oversized grip. I could do that, but the rest of it is, the industry has a men's standard, has a ladies standard. I've kind of taken that away, and I just say, here's what works for you, and so and see if you like pink. you know, see, and maybe you do, maybe you don't. Who knows? And then I've also come across, and women are typically a little bit shorter, and what I found is I'm making these shorter clubs with these really big grips on them, and to me they look kind of funny, but when the ladies get them and they start swinging them, they hit them great, and they're like, "Oh, there you go, that's the way to go." And I've had some cases where the ladies start beating the husbands. That's a lot. That's when I know I've hit a home run. So I've been fortunate enough to fit a lady that was a 3-time mid amateur champion here in Ohio. And when I fit her, she was in her 80s, and she could still put the ball out there. And she was still she would shoot her score, her age, easily, and break it. And when she came down here, we put some clubs together for her, sent them up there. The very next day, she breaks her age. Her daughter, who was a little bit older than me, came down for a fitting. We fit her, and she called me within a week and said she beat her husband. And I think that was just basically the one-time thing to do, beat the husband. And then I don't know if she's kept golfing or not, but she did it once. I think that was a goal, and there you go. That was pretty good. We've had some high schoolers that have gone to very large colleges, that, to be very, very competitive. I hope that, one day we'll see some names that we recognize, but they're using golf as a conduit and to get into these colleges to get their education, which is exactly the right thing, right? Unless you're some kind of super gifted person. So, in all, that's what we're talking about. So, regardless of if you're a lady or a guy, it's what fits, right? It's based on swing speed, how you load the shaft, how you address the club, and that kind of stuff. So, getting back to this young lady right here, she was very super duper nice, right? Super nice. And she had, uh, we had to tell her to keep going. She had too much of what I call a golf pose at the end, but all her power was right way back here instead of down into here. Once we started moving that in, ball started flying a little bit better, and it was really really good. I worked her over pretty good with the putter, and she said putter was her weakness. And with my fitting putter, once I got her into the right length and the right lie angle, she started making putts like a machine gun. I'm like, holy smokes, look at this. So I shortened it down because it was actually an inch over standard, and a 36-inch putter, and she was killing it. I'm like, all right, so we got that made. So we're there. Then we came in here and started working with irons, and it was a hunt to find the right weight. She immediately was into the regular flex, in the middle to upper end, so very good for her. And once she made contact, it was a good ball. The wedges we kind of struggled with a little bit, and I think that was just being inside. And then we worked on some hybrids, and then by that time we had her tuckered out, so we had to wait on the driver. Alrighty, so there's my little beef on let's fit some women. It shouldn't be. And ladies, if you're out there and you're listening, or gentlemen, if you're out there and you're worrying about whether or not your wife or girlfriend or significant other needs to get fit, the answer is yes, right? Unless they're a true beginner, the answer is yes, because I'm sure there is something specific to their needs that'll help them golf better. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're a woman or a girl or a kid. It matters how they swing, how they release, how they putt, how they chip, that kind of stuff, in order for them to play their best golf. Oh, and Charlie, before you ask, I've gone back to the roots again. I got some 15 Glenfiddich. So we're right back to it, buddy. We're getting back to the roots. All righty. So here we go. Let's get to some comments. To the top. Manuel, what do you say, sir? Good evening, Jim and Robin and the McGolf Disciples on here. How do you feel when customers come in for you to reshaft or tweak clubs and sends you pic of him holding up a trophy? That makes me very, very proud. Actually, it makes me very, very proud. Uh, I am just happy as a clam for them, and I'm glad that they do. I just wish one day that one of them is wearing a McGolf hat in order to show everybody. But yeah, I think it's great. I think it's phenomenal, and it was awesome. It was awesome, and we've had a few do that, and it's just been. I'd love to be able to have pictures and put them all around here. The two pictures I have of anybody doing anything like that is a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old. They won their U.S. Kids tournament, and U.S. Kids around here, when you win, if you're first or second in your flight, I believe, you get invited to go down to Pinehurst and play against a whole worldwide group of people that are in your age category, and these kids were able to do it. And that was after we've talked, put some clubs underneath of them, helped them with their swing, that kind of thing. And right now, the first one that we have a picture of, he is, I believe he's just graduated college. That's kind of awful considering he's 7 years old when we started. That's a long time. The other one is doing very, very well in high school. I believe he's a senior, and he's doing very well. So there you go. But yeah, it's awesome. There's Helen B, i.e. Scott. Hi, Jim Rowe. I want to thank you again for the great time my fitting and enjoyed it greatly. It meant a lot you taking to learn about New Zealand, the wife's cultural markings. That is something that's always, it's not like I've studied them or anything, Scott, but I just thought that was just neat as all get out because they do mean so much. I think that is just the different, just how one line can make a difference on a symbol that represents your family. And just like your son, Scott's son got pinned to be chief at a very young age, I'll say, and which is amazing. And in the flags and all the symbology that they go through, every little thing on the things that they carry, same kind of thing. So it's very, very neat. And Robin is enjoying the purse. So I'm looking at her through the window. She enjoyed the purse. We took it on a test run a couple days ago, and she absolutely loves it. So tell your wife thank you again. Charlie, 15, buddy. Very smooth. Mm. John Cherry, how are you, sir? Greetings from Myrtle Beach. Thank you for showing up again. Shot an 80 yesterday. Last two holes were bogeys. You're getting there. Very well, dude. That is awesome. And I thought I was going to get there because I thought I was playing lights out, and I ended up shooting a 40. I thought I shot a 39, and ended up bogeying the last number 9. And then the wheels started coming off. I couldn't get anything going, and ended up shooting a 44 or 40, 45 or something like that. It was bad, and just couldn't get anything going. Just couldn't hit it. Tale of two sides. Charlie's talking to Manuel. Sounds like a successful reshaft and tweak. You are absolutely correct. Greetings and happy Thanksgiving from Canada. Truly, well done, sir. Thank you, and same to you. And you can see we're celebrating October for Halloween. I got my buddy Bones in the background. He's sporting the McGolf. Didn't want to show it off too bad, but he's got the McGolf apron on. If you guys are interested, and he's sporting the McGolf hat too. Look at him go, being a little poster board for us. Terry Lockwood, what do you say, sir? How are you doing? For those thinking about getting fit, even if you have to travel some, I highly recommend Jim. He's great as people. He's very good at what he does. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate that. Happy Thanksgiving to our Canadian neighbors. Yes, very much so. Same to you, Mr. Golf Swings. There's Peter. How are you doing, sir? Weather was cool in the morning, warmed to 75, which to me would be perfect, and was able to shoot a 75. You go, boy. That's what we want to hear. I just saw so for any of you guys out there that have been in the military, there's an organization called Veterans Golfers Association. And I have tried to reach out to them several times about, helping, doing fitting, talking about fittings to the groups, that kind of thing, or guys with the special needs, maybe kind of lead them in the right direction. Unfortunately, they don't have a strong representation here in Ohio. And I just before getting on here, I look up and there's my Facebook feed, and there's Veterans Golfers Association playing an hour away from me, an hour and a half away, and they had 15 guys. I'm like, I wish I would have known. So we'll have to reach out and see if that group's going to get a little stronger or not. Jim Anderson, thank you for staying up so late. Good evening, Jim and Robin, from a very Dreech weekend. Oh, I'm going to have to look at that one. From Dysart, Fife, Scotland. I hope I'm saying that right. Great show and video last week. Good. I think I'm going to try Wilson Titanium driver this week. No, you're welcome. And the Wilson Titanium, I'm going to tell you, I bet the folks at Wilson are just absolutely blown away by the popularity of that particular golf club. That thing works. Okay, that thing works. I put it in play. Scott hit it. I know a few other guys that have been down here have hit it, and it's within this much of all the other ones. All right, so if you're looking for the absolute correct fit, this may not fall into your wheelhouse. However, if we'll say budget minded, and I hate to throw Wilson into that category, but the driver is less expensive than most of them. And if you're talking 3 to 5 yards for a significant price lowering, could be the way to go, right? But I'm telling you that TI works. It's a very forgiving driver. And for you guys that are overcooking it to the left or to the right, depending on what side of the ball you're standing on, the carbon is the way to go for that one. Even was it Peter Finch was killing it, hit the ball as far as he could possibly hit it with that one. So I haven't looked at one of his videos in a while, but I wouldn't be surprised to find it in his bag. So that's pretty good. Luke List in a playoff. Okay, Luke List. I've heard that name before. So good for him. Congratulations to Luke List. PZ, hello, golf peeps, and I have fit more women than men to proper length golf clubs last year. Good for you. Good for you. It is truly an underserved sector of the group, and they tend to, they travel in packs. So, one tells one tells one tells one tells one tells one. They're a much tighter knit group. Women golfers are a tighter knit group than guy golfers are. It's really kind of funny that way. Bill Nauman, is that still in the background a customer who didn't pay? No, Bonesy's he's been here with me for a long time. And if I had him sitting right here, his eyes would light up for you and we could be talking back and forth. Just this year, we like Halloween. And just this year, if you guys have been out and about, I went to Lowe's a couple weeks back, and the animatronic type things that the new gadgets do are just crazy good, and it's pretty neat. 75 degrees and 75, can't beat that. You are correct, sir. That would have been awesome down there. Robin saying to Scott and Helen that we met them both, and we like that. Yep. Oh, Michael says hi. How are you, sir? Golf Swings in Canada. Nike needs collared ferrules. Is it possible to stack combined soft lower half of a collared ferrule with a BB&F to make an extra tall ferrule? Possible to turn sand and blend the two into one. Thanks. So I'm not aware that BB&F actually makes a collared ferrule, particularly the ones with the colored rings. All right, the colored ring ones, I have not seen a ferrule that has a collar. So yes, you're going to have to chop off some of the ones on the bottom and shove them in the shouldered area, and then put these things on top. Now, the ones I have found that have a longer ferrule area is PXG/Ping when we're talking about irons. That's an easy fix. They'd probably be longer, and what you can do is just cut them off, put them in, and glue them in or whatever, and then you can use your ferrule belt and just and make them nice and flat, and you're good to go. In drivers, I don't know if it's necessarily that thick or not, but yeah, you could cut them off and put them back. Do it quite a lot all of a sudden. So yeah, you're on the right path, man. Hi, John there. Hammer! I'll be teeing off below 80 degrees for the first time tomorrow in May, Houston. Whew! Dude, I don't know, man. We went down there and we played with, we went down to Myrtle Beach and we got to play with Peter. And that first day was really nice. It was really, really nice. The last couple of days, it got into that crazy 105 degree with the heat index, and man, it tore me up. It just tore me up, and uh, made me appreciate the fact that you had to stay cool. So and it was funny because it came back down here, it was in the 70s, and I turned around and just lit it up for a day. Michael Moody says hi to Jim Bone in the back. Jim Bone, you're right. Jonathan Weaver, he's on Facebook. How are you? He says, with your experience, what would you have done differently with your business? What do you picture for the future of small repair shops? Huh. Well, Jonathan, I think uh, when I first started, the in the early '90s, that you could still get a quality non OEM part, and meaning that there's and the companies are still out there. Alpha, KZG, Wishon. These are different. These are non OEM. I called them OEDs, original equipment designs. They were designs from small equipment manufacturers that just would sell you the component part. And they were starting to get, and they were really quite large at one point, and they're getting compacted. They're getting compacted by the OEMs. Okay. And also, and as much as it pains me to say this, because the quality of the service and the quality of the part, notwithstanding, are very similar, if not better. And however, people people will buy things, and if you make them less expensive, they feel that is cheaper. They can take in part like you want to go buy a car, and you go, well, it's a $25,000 car. That must not be as good as a $50,000 car, right? And though it's still a car, what makes it better, right? And if it has exactly the same stuff, well, the $50,000 car must be better. So there were people out there charging exorbitant fees for golf clubs that didn't cost that much, and it didn't sit well with a bunch of us. Well, okay. Uh, and what we saw was that was tapering off. So what I had to force myself to do was get good enough that I could sell or fit, manufacture, put together OEM parts, i.e., Strixons, Wilsons, Mizunos, Callaways, that kind of stuff. Now, that's not just something you walk in one day and decide you're going to do. It takes time. And if you're going to go into a fitting and building kind of shop, I would suggest you go that direction. Now, if you don't want to mess with that, then the other direction you could just uh, focus on fittings and repairs, and that way you don't even have to worry about a lot of that. So I would go with that. Right now, the hardship right now is connectors, and getting the right connectors. There's a bit of a tussle going on out there on how you have to get in with the connectors, and the cost, the original cost for the like, we'll call it the membership, and then the monthly fee that they want to give you, it makes it cost prohibitive. You might as well just build a whole club and then just test it with that. Now you can do other things out there, but that's for you to figure out when you get going. But I think there's room out there. I mean, we're doing it, and I'm in a poorest county in Ohio, in one of the smallest cities in Ohio. And just like you see Scott, sorry about this, like you see Scott came from California via his son, or I've met some people from Delaware. We've had people come up from Texas, and we've been fortunate. I tell you, we've been totally fortunate that we've had a gathering of these people from out of state. And once you get to that point, that you can rely on those kinds of things. All right. Thanks, Charles. I am smiling. You sent me a great note of thanks. Well done, Emmanuel. I'd put that in a frame and put it up on the side of the wall. That's something you'd want to look at all the time. Travis K. watching in Jersey. What is that ferrule polish you use and where can I get it? It is called yellow polish, and I get mine from Grizzly. And it's like H8132 or something along that lines. Don't quote me on the number, but it's called yellow polish. It's from Grizzly. And what they really originally used it for is to polish guitars, to put that last shine on guitars. And I bought a block of it, and I'm here to tell you I probably will never buy another one. I used a half a block for almost 5 years, so I probably will never buy another one. Charlie says leaves are changing here. A third of them are on my lawn. That's kind of funny you say that, Charlie, because I got Robin and I have got a 20-acre yard basically now, and it's just lined with trees, absolutely lined with trees. And I'll be darned if we don't get very many in the lawn. I don't know what the deal is. Maybe there's just enough wind so that they blow back into the forest or what. But it's just nutty. About the edge of the lawn for about 2 passes, and that's it. Lawrence Bronson looks a lot like West New Jersey. Okay. John Cherry, when fitting putters, is there a system better than another? Yes. It depends on what you're using. All right, so here's my philosophy. In fact, it's funny that you say that because I just updated this guy. This is the Capto. Let's see if you can see it when it turns on. There it is. There's the Capto. And it just had an update today, and I was updating it. So and see you soon. So there are several. There's a Sam Putt Lab. There's the Capto. There's the. They had one for Blast Motion. I didn't think that was very good, although I tried it. And there are some other ones that are out there. Okay. Oh, the Optic or Ontic. Ontic. It's Optic. It's a camera based one. Quite expensive. Very nice. Quite expensive. And they all do a lot of neat things, and they all tell you a lot of neat stuff. That I've always had this thing with putting, John. I've always had this thing with putting that, unlike launch monitors, you think it's a launch monitor for a putter, and okay, but the bottom line here is, does the ball get in the hole? Now, do you need all that stuff for the ball to get in the hole if you know what you're looking for? Probably not. Now, 10%, 15% of golfers, you probably do, because there's just something that escapes you. However, it makes for good. This thing packs 32 different parameters that it monitors, and this latest update allows you to use. You ever seen those the well putts where the stance mats? So you can tell where you're putting your foot pressure, the kind where you do in full swings. Now they're moving it into a putter. So, I mean, there's a lot to know, right? There's a lot to know. And that actually, the reason why I like this for a lot of people is that it gets you educated very, very quickly. All right. And I've been through a lot of them. This one, I really didn't like a lot of stuff hanging off the golf club. I just was not a real fan. There's a reason why I like the camera-based unit. However, bang for buck, and they've really modified this. This pops off for indoor use, and it looks just like this. The thing weighs like 4 quarters, and so it doesn't weigh very much at all. But I just didn't like it hanging off the club. But once I figure out where it went, I realized that it didn't impact the swing hardly at all, and it gave me a lot of information, including whether or not you're doing like this or and the 3D modeling on it is really nice. So I like that one. So it's Capto. Rob saying thanks. Thanks, Jim. Swing tips, 30 to 36 greens. Nice. All righty. Manuel, Got a note today that Rifle X stiffs are no longer available at Callaway builds. Not sure about the other OEMs. Any news regarding this? Yeah, I got mine a while back. They took it out. I don't know. I don't know why. They. It could be that now. If you go looking for now these rifles, if you look at these rifles, I believe they're really close to a flighted set. And if you go looking for those, you can't find them. Those are specific towards these Callaway clubs, and so they may have just said that they probably weren't getting the pull in from them and decided not to make them anymore. Yeah, I had to pull mine off my fitting card here not too long ago. Now the real I don't know if you've ran into it, but I'm running into real issues with the Apex. I've got one head. That's it, and I'm looking for the rest of them so I can do do a review on them. But it seems that getting them released is being problematic at best. So we'll see. John Lamb, Luke List won on the Sanderson 5-man playoff. Ooh, he dropped a bomb putt on the first playoff hole for a birdie. Stallings, Norlander, Griffin, and Adberg. Oh, okay. I wondered if Adberg was. I watched that when they were coming into play. He was 6 shots back. He was 14 under, where the other guy was 20 under. So he must have just put the foot to the ground on the pedal. That sounded bad. He just should have just mashed the gas. Golf Dog, greetings from Central Florida. Well, thank you, sir, for joining us. Come on back. That's Mick Bones. No, yeah, there you go. Manuel saying great round, Peter. Oh, here's one. Beth Mark Minio. Hello, Robin. Look at that. Robin got one just right in there by himself. Hello, Robin. Good job. John Lamb, now that I have opened the window, the smells of Thanksgiving dinner cooking is making me salivate over my keyboard. As soon as the doorbell will ring, the festivities and great friends and family will begin. Well, John, you know what? I hope that you and your family have a wonderful time and enjoy the food and all that goes with being around family and friends. Hello, Ryan Crow, Jim and Robin. Is there something to these ZX5 irons? I got my first ace with them last week, second career. Shot my first under par 9 holes. I guess I owe you that drink now. Well, yeah. Good one. So if you ask Peter, who was listening, we made him some ZX5s with some Axioms in them. He said they were super duper nice, and his son played them and took them from him, and he's dropped a few aces as well. So there is something to them. You know, my Golf Spy says the best feeling clubs out there. If you're a guy, I think if you're a guy that's not a big divot taker, that these clubs are awesome. I prefer the 7s. Now, I only prefer the 7s because it's sole thickness. I like them a little narrower, and what I would do is I just increase the lofts to be like the 5s, and I'd be right there. But yeah, they are very, very nice. All right. Scott, I'd like to hear the building's progressing. Yeah. So, Scott, I weighed everything out. True to form, Wilson came in just perfect. The Acro stuff came in. I've got it lined up, and they were within like the low end of 1 gram to the high end of a 2nd gram. So 2 grams. It's absolutely nothing. Put them together, got them spine and flowed. They're all sitting there. The ferrules are done. Just need to cut them, and then we're going to bend them. The grip is going to make them a little bit more hand heavy, and I'm just trying to figure out how much we're going to have to weigh them. But keep in mind, we used a heavier shaft, so the distribution of weight on this one's going to be a little bit different than what you've seen. It might be a little bit more balanced. The overall weight will be the same, but it won't have that head heavy feeling. It'll still have heft. It just won't have a lot of head heft. And that's what I'm kind of pondering on these hybrids, is that we've gone to a heavier shaft, which is going to kind of level out that head heavy feel, and then with a heavier grip, it's still going to go that way. And I'm still trying to figure out whether or not I really need to reach in there and pull out that tungsten thing in the hosel. And again, that would work well for you because if I take that thing out of the hosel, then you won't. There's no way you're going to overcook it. So that's where I'm at with that one. Oh, and the putter's done too. All righty. Robin's saying hello, hello, hello. And then Sky's saying congrats on the ace to Ryan Crow. John Lamb, my wife plays men's senior shaft because she is athletic and still park the ball out there. Very good. 235. Nice. She's 5'8", has a big swing art, and loves her old matrix shafts. There you go, man. There you go. And we're talking back on Facebook. Cam's back with us. Good day, McGolfinators. What top 3 things you tell a beginner golfer? Well, the first one is, and probably every golfer needs to hear it. The very first thing I tell a beginning golfer is to go learn golf etiquette. All right, that is the very first thing. There's nothing worse than a new guy out there that doesn't know, fix your divots, let faster players through, because you're going to make mistakes. Let them play through. It's not a bad thing. It's a proper thing. Where to tee off, those golf etiquette. That would be number 1 in my book to tell people what to go do as beginning golfers. Number 2 is, I would say, go get a beginning lesson, just the proper stuff, the proper stance, the proper grip, and the proper flow of the swing. You don't have to get technical. These are all basics. This is just like throwing a baseball or catching a football or throwing a lacrosse. They all have certain techniques that you just need to know the basics of, whether you're doing this or that. They're all basics in order for you to find your specific area. And then that way you can expound on what that person told you to do. And then the last bit of it is have some fun, right? Golf is serious, but golf is also fun. And have it, Robin would tell me, well, why don't you listen to that yourself? Because you need to tell yourself that. Well, yeah, that's true. But my whole goal when I go out is to beat my very last score. And if I don't, I get mad. And if I do, I'm happy. I mean, it's just that simple. But golf is fun. Have some fun. That would be the top 3 things I'd tell them. Seymour, what do you say, buddy? It's been a while. Got my first eagle on a par 5 last month. Congratulations, sir. I hit an okay drive, 270. I'd say anybody that hit a 270-yard drive would be much happy with that. And then the best 3-wood I've ever hit, 245, and left me with a gimme putt, and I made the putt. No gimme eagles. You are correct. No gimme eagles. You got to drop those bad boys. And that's what and to this day, it's still the best running joke ever between me and my buddy Bob, is that he throws them onto the green and he'll be 40 foot away, and I should just give him those daggone putts. Because I'm here to tell you, he's easily 8 out of 10. Easily 8 out of 10. But you get him 3 to 4 foot, he's putting every last one of those bad boys. Every one. Because I know I got him. Oh, he can. It's amazing how far out he can do it. Kevin that was on here before has seen it. Peter's seen him do it. It's just crazy how good he is from long distance. Scotty, what was the putter at Makefield Love? The tech idea of movable weights to raise the CG and lower loft. Give the ball sooner to help all my golfs, including myself. What was the putter at Makefield Golf? Oh, love the tech. So what we put in Scotty's is a Makefield, and he got the tour edition. I call it the baby moon. There's a big moon, a middle moon now, which they call it a Tour X, and then the tour model, which is what I call the baby moon. And it's literally a semicircle putter, and on the back there's at least 6 different ports and each one of these ports we put the heaviest weight in so he could have his weight. And we made it black, and we put that bigger grip on it for you, and it looks really, really good. Now, they sport, everybody's got their marketing term for their technology. However, the face on this thing has a different milling pattern. It kind of goes like this and then goes like that, and it is very coarse. And what it does is it helps get that ball rolling. They're the first person that say, you always heard this immediate forward roll. I'd be saying that's a myth. But they say what they say, and I think it's the most honest statement, is to get the ball rolling forward the fastest. That's pretty good. Now, on the one with the 3 ports on it, where it's their original model, the more force is directed towards the center, and I think that's what those half moons do as well, and that's where they're at. But yeah, the Makefield's been doing good, buddy. The gal that you saw up in here, she hit it and just started killing it too. I think it's a good little putter. John Lamb says, I agree. Ladies need to get fit. Just everyone does. First thing we did when we first started golfing together, the off the rack lady clubs just did not work. You are correct. And you know what? And again, there are some times where that's going to be just the most perfect set. And that's the same thing with guys, right? You get golf in a box, you get it, and you just happen to hit it. You're like, wow, that's really great. Okay, well, fine. That works. But there's always that one little thing, and you're like, okay. And it always flares up at the worst possible time, like needing a bigger grip or a stiffer shaft or a longer or shorter club, something along that lines, or even adjustment in lie angle in order to get out there. Jewel, if I use mid-sized grips, will that make the head a little heavier? No, depend. It'll only make the head heavier, Jewel, if you were using oversized grips. Mid-sized grips, by definition, because there's more stuff in the grip, makes them heavier, and so you have this. If you think swing weight is a teeter-totter effect, and you're here right now, and you go to put something heavier over here, it's going to make it. The number will be lighter. Now, if you go to put on a mid-sized grip and you love the feel of that mid-sized grip, I'm here to tell you that that feel will override all the other stuff. I would not worry about it. Okay. It's only going to be the change in the swing weight would almost be imperceivable to you, particularly after about the second round. Charlie saying, Seymour, congrats on the Eagles. Same thing. Thanks, Robin and Scott. There we go. William Ware. Okay, William Ware. What we got here? Jim and Robin from Buffalo. Thank you, sir. I got a Ben Ross demo. The Ben Ross, I've heard you. Okay. 7-iron off of eBay with that screw type hosel. Can I just get some Loctite on the threads and keep it secure so I can game it? Thanks, Billy. Yeah. Yeah, the only thing that the only stipulation in the rules of golf is that from an adjustability point of view is that it takes a unique tool to be able to adjust it. So you couldn't use like a flat blade screwdriver or a crescent wrench or an Allen key, but a torque with a breakaway torque wrench or a specific wrench like this that's specific to tighten it down all day, right? And I wouldn't even worry about, if you can keep it tight, you don't even have to worry about Loctite. Although if you're going to game it like that, that's a good play. Put it in there and screw it down. You'd be legal as far as I'm concerned. Beth Mark Minio, felts versus linen belts on a 1x32 ferrule turning only. I went felt. I would agree with that call. What should I be careful of about this? There's still a code on GolfWorks where you get a kickback. There's still thanks. Okay. We should talk to them about it. So this person sent an email asking whether or not there was some sort of affiliate code so that because I send a lot of people to GolfWorks, that if they were to do something that I would get something in the affiliate marketing, like Amazon does and a lot of others people do. Golfwork just does not do that, and that's too bad. And however, I'd love to see one. I'd like to see the Mick code, Mick code for me. But uh, the only thing I worry about here, bud, on a 1x30 sander is that that it spins faster. So it's going to want to eat more material. You just have to know that going in. So you're going to need a lighter touch leaning into the belt so that you don't allow it to eat as much material as it would for like mine. I can lean into mine and because it doesn't want to eat as much. For you, you're gonna have to give it a nice, and you'll get once you get doing this and you do 3 or 4 or 5 sets, you're gonna get a feel for it. But you just lean it in ever so slightly and just start lightly and then lean your way into it a little bit closer, a little bit closer, a little bit closer, a little bit closer until you get your feel for it. Then you'll know. Then you'll know. All right. Mark Nat. There's a new one. Thank you for joining us, sir. And it's a picture of a highway. All right. Jim, I hit my game improvement irons too high and thinking about players' distance irons. My G iron shafts have jacked up lofts. Would I lose or gain distance going to players' distance irons with more traditional lofts? The answer is probably yes. All right. Uh, It's the difference, for instance, a lot of these game improvement irons, let's say the P790s or the Paradigms, or the ZX4s, or these are all the players, these are ones that have extraordinarily strong lofts. And I'll just throw out a number. Let's just say there's a 26-degree 7-iron. All right, I know it's probably not right, but just for a number, and you go to a player's distance iron, and that 27-degree now becomes 30, which is still strong by nature, just as not as strong as that. Yeah, it's going to hit it shorter. Is it going to be so tremendously shorter that you just can't play it? No. You might see a half a club change. And the thing is, because there's two things going on here. If you're hitting these things really, really high, and I'm going to go extraordinary, if you're going way high, you're coming in like a balloon in order to lower that. So if you don't and you hit a more piercing trajectory, you're going to come out of the air a little bit different and you're going to get this forward roll, or you're going to come out of the air and it's going to land a little bit further down. So, no, I think you'll be fine. All right. Look at that, all high. Hello, hello. PZ was a member of the VGA. Been too busy this past year. Made national championships 2015 6. Great organization. Well, good. I think I'll check into them. Yeah, I'm not going to get anywhere near you, bud. I've seen all the stuff you've been winning. There's no way I'm going to get close to that. You got game, dude. You got game. But yeah, I think it'd be kind of cool. All righty. Jim, is there any reason we should be balancing golf balls to find a true center? Oh, wow. Golf dog. That's a question I haven't seen in years. I still to this day have a kit to do that. Have I done it in years? No. Okay. So this is a story all in itself, right? Balancing golf balls. As you've seen, maybe with My Golf Spy, they're cutting the balls in half, and they're seeing where those the centers are off. The different colors of the mantles are off center. That would lead one to believe that the ball itself is off center, and I think that is a pretty good argument, right? It's a pretty good discussion to have. Now, in the day, GolfWorks, when I was attending the master's class, they did a test. They did a very large experiment on off-center golf balls. Okay, and if you were 0.2 grams off center, and you had a 10-foot putt, the chances of missing that putt where it veers off, it just basically creams the hole, was very, very high. Okay, which was just crazy. And he showed us he had them off center, and he would show it, and the thing would go like this, and it would just tail off onto the wrong way. And you could put the weight on either side and make it go that way. That's the reason why you see people lining up those lines. When they used to, in the day where they had seams, right? And they would laying it up on the seam so that it would roll on the heavy part. So even if you were out of center, the heavy part would still be the outer area that was rolling, and it would override any of the offset. That's what they were doing. Now, how do you know if you got an unbalanced golf ball? Well, what you do is you get yourself a dish or a tub about yay big around, about yay deep, and you fill it about 3/4 away with water. And then you start pouring salt into it until you get it to where and get it to diffuse, and you get in there until the golf ball floats. Okay. Now what you do is once you get it in there and the golf ball floats, you take the golf ball and you spin it in the water, and you wait till it comes to a dead stop. And then you put a little dot on the top, and then you go and you spin it again. And the trick here is if you have a balanced golf ball, the chances of coming up to that dot are almost zero. If it is unbalanced, and the heavy part will be down, then that dot will come straight back up, and you have an unbalanced golf ball. And then that dot services as a spot to put your line so that when you're making your putt, you can have your heavy part on the equator of the ball and that it rolls true towards the ball. So there it is. The physics of this golf dog is real, right? It is real. Now, the quality of the manufacturing back in the day was not as good as it is now. Will we see as many as off-center golf balls now as we did in the day? I doubt it. But if you got nothing better to do while you're watching a game, hey, try it out, see what happens. It'd be a hell of an experiment. Thanks, Jim. Looking at Wilson Titanium reviews of this thing. Things being Peter Finch said and many others on YouTube. Yeah, they were I'm telling you what, that Wilson Titanium was getting all kinds of love. And the carbon. If you look at the carbon, because those guys, let's face it, all those YouTube guys, man, they're all like they're all like plus handicappers, every last one of them, and they've never ever faded a ball in their lifetime, and they need that carbon so that they don't overcook the ball. I'm being very sarcastic, by the way. But Peter Finch has been really practicing that driver, and he was clobbering it. So yeah, have fun. I think it'd be a lot of fun. OEM stuff. Friend of mine who just sold his shop sold KZG. Yep, Nakashima. That was the other one. A few knockoffs from overseas. They were good clubs. The Nakashimas. Yeah, the Nakashimas were nice. They were pretty cool. And you knew you were at the pinnacle of that when you could get Muras. You could get Muras. You were at the pinnacle. You were somebody within the club making industry. And now it's a bit of a change. All right, Cam says as W. I'm not sure what that means. PZ, hit the thumbs up. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Please do. Hit like and subscribe. Tell your friends, your family, your dog, so that we get some more of these going. H8 Cam. I'm not sure what that means. Oop. Past my prime is here. What are you doing, buddy? Hello. How are you? Here we go. Hello from Largo, Florida, Mark Case. How are you, sir? Thank you for joining us. Come on back. If you got any questions, throw them up. Here's Peter. Ask my son. Ask my son. He loves his handicap has dropped to 1. Oh my gosh. And has 5 rounds of 4 under par. Oh my goodness. Talk about just a fit for him, right? And good for him. And Peter's son plays in Texas, so he's got to keep it down. So he's not airmailing these 5s by any shape of the imagination. He has the ZX5s with the Axiom shafts in them. And I'm getting, here, I think I'm a trendsetter. Right. But now if you see on YouTube, a lot of them have been talking about the Axiom shafts here as of late, to the point I think Ian might actually put them in his irons from up at TXG. Well, now Club Champion. But Ian might put him in there. He was just throwing it around like it was free. Robin says, Peter, that's great. Peter, sounds like you'll be getting them back. You won't be getting them back anytime soon. That is correct. All right. Robin saying hi to everybody. She's responding to me getting mad. She doesn't like it when I get mad. Peter, you need to take a video of Bob showing him making those 45-foot putts. I should. And of course he's sporting the Makefield putter, and he's got that Koatai putter grip, that very teardroppy shape, and it's really, really long. And he's kind of modified his putting stroke with using that, and it works. It just works for him, and it just kills it. Robin saying hello, Rick. Charles, they are gone. Peter, that's a good one. Very well done. He'll give them back when he's worn the grooves out of them. Very well, maybe. Joey Franklin, pink, laugh out loud. Yeah, dude. I'm here to tell you it's about a 50-50 split. I will show lady golfers, and they will absolutely love the color pink. They just think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And then I get other ones that detest the color pink, and they don't want to have anything to do with it. You make it black, blue, red, anything else but pink, they're on board. And it's a preference. Bassman Prime. For balancing a ball with the water technique, I've always heard to use Epsom salts rather than regular salt. You are correct. Epsom salt is the way to go. Matter of fact, if you go to GolfWorks, I know they don't have a code for that thing. They have it, and you get the tub, and the salt is actually in it, and in a baggie, and you use that. But yeah, that's where you go. So John's asking Peter if he told his son Merry Christmas. Who knows? Peter's a very kind soul, so chances are he's probably just said have a day with it. And if he's golfing very, very well, and his son being in sales, that's probably going to help him out quite a bit. Joel Connolly, did you mention P-knucklers? No, I did not. No, I did not. What are some of your favorite YouTube channels to watch? P.S. I always drop the McGolf channel and show the other channels every chance I get. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I tried to, when I first started watching this, of course, Peter Finch and Shields were actually together. I met them once, and when they were first getting started, good guys, and I like them. I was looking at, the people that were doing something a little bit different. I don't like a lot of showboating. I like a lot of, this is how I've hit it. This is what I do, and so the stuff that Finch and Shields were doing resonated with me. Me and My Golf, I think, is another good one. They seem to do a lot. And the other one, of course, I like is Mike Malaska. And these are all instructor types. There's hardly another guy out there that's doing what I'm doing. There is another guy out there, Mobile Club Maker. He's doing something out there as well. He just got his shop started, so he's getting into it. He's actually surpassed me by a couple of thousand subscribers, and I think that's because he is aligned himself with Golf WRX, and there's a large database of people that would follow that, where I've aligned myself, and that's where he's at. I spend most of my time on My Golf Spy, and which is a much smaller community, and it is what it is. But those would be the other ones that I've seen. That good golf thing, it does not interest me in the slightest. All those guys that are doing that, and it's all about bomb and gouge. at 60 years old I have zero interest in that. I want to know how to lower my golf score. Uh, uh, there's one more though. When I say it, I'll think about it, and I'll just blurb it out to you. But I've watched it, and I kind of enjoy that one, and we'll go from there. Matt Revlock got here. Just got home from playing. Shot a 76. Not bad for touching a club for 2 weeks. What goals do we have for the rest of the golfing year? There you go. That's a good question. So my plans are I would like to shoot a couple more rounds in the 70s. Get my swing left me, oh, it was bad. For the middle of this year, it was just I could not get anything to turn. I could not get anything to hit well. I just wanted to have solid golf strikes, regardless of the distance. I just wanted to hit the ball solid. And for 3 months, it was nothing but toe shots. And here playing with Bob yesterday and the time before, I found the middle of the golf club, and it felt good to hit the middle of the golf club again. And what I found out what I was doing is I was finishing completely and turning to the target. And that was all the difference in the world. And the best part about it was I didn't have to force it. It felt like I was swinging lazy and I was hitting the ball further. Go figure that out, right? And that's what I've been telling people for days is, it's not about power, it's about speed. And when you great speed is when you're at your most relaxed. And that's not relaxed, it's most tension free. When you can get there, it feels soft. And people mostly in guys don't translate soft into good. It's hammer and nail or power. Well, power doesn't do much. It's all about speed. If you get speed going, and man, oh man, the ball just started landing where it was supposed to go. It was a great time. And then I turned into my other self on the back nine. It was horrible. But there it is. All righty. We're going to see Matt in a few weeks right here. PZ looking for a pink grip to replace a Win AVS. You know who's got one? Star does. Star's got one. They got a pink grip. Matt's going to bring down the family. That'll be cool. Mac, past my prime. Yes, EP salts to increase the pH balance to basically make it thicker. There you go. Welcome to parenthood, Peter. Here's a new one. Joel C. Pinnacles, Pinocklers. Oh, that's a good one. Hi, first time catching it live. Well, Joel, thank you for showing up. If you got a question, throw it out there. Mobile is now known as Elite Fit Golf. Okay. I haven't seen a change in that one, but I've seen him do a few things. Not too bad. Robin, Joel, did you hit the like button? There you go. I didn't Facebook. Will here as well. Thank you, sir. Past my prime for YouTube instruction videos. Top Speed Golf for my two. Top Speed Golf. I've not seen them, but okay, not bad. I like that. There's another guy that he started flowing into the feed and just apparently is blown up. And if you notice, have you noticed that most of the instructional guys, the guys that are very popular, are coming from England or from Europe? Mac Malaska is the only guy in the U.S. that I've seen. I know there's others out there, but if you look at it, the guys that are top of the game, there's 3 or 4 guys, the average golfer, all those other guys are all from the UK. I'm trying to figure out what that's all about. John Lamb, adding salt makes a brine. I've made a lot of rinks circulate with a brine. Salt lowers the freezing temperature, and we use calcium carbonate. Yep, I've heard that one. Not a fan. He does things not like Spine and Flow. Yeah, he's not the Mobile or Elite Fit or whatever. He threw a barb at me not too while ago about Spine and Flow, how he didn't believe it. it was a thing. And he threw it. It was very disguised about, because I've seen in the past that you may or may not like it, but it creates a more consistent golf club. And he refuted that one. He said, for those out there that think that, that's not even true either. And okay, whatever. And I've been on the tour trailers. I've seen what they do out there, and I'm here to tell you I can stand toe to toe with those guys and make a golf club for anybody out there. And does that mean I'm the only one? Not even close. There's tons of us out there. But to ignore that as not a thing, I'd say that's it's probably a little junior like. But he does good in a lot of other stuff though. Calcium chloride, okay. Same as road salt. Quite good. Okay. Oh, here's a new one. Ron G. Pete Cohen is the guru I trust. Pete Cohen. I don't know that one. We'll have to take a look at him too. Thank you, Ron G. And there's Robin. Seems like a majority of golf on YouTube is from the UK. I don't get it either. Yeah, me either. So there was a thing, and I'm not disparaging them in the slightest, is that a lot of those guys got on with a marketing group that's out of, I think it's Saudi Arabia, and they've got on with them, and they're promoting them out, and they're doing all the heavy lifting for those channels to get them that popular. And Peter's doing well, Rick is doing well, a couple of the other guys are doing well. So hey, I'm okay with that. That's their business dealings with that. That's not for me. They're selling that as, they started off as instructors, and I doubt they're doing very much instructing now, where we're doing it as a business in order for you guys to come see us so that we can fit you. Top Speed and Clay Ballard. Now, Clay Ballard, I've seen. Clay Ballard was one of the originals, if I remember correctly. He's been on there for a long time. Very, very simplistic instruction, as I recall. Is very, very good. All right. John Lamb, not a fan of elite golf. Really don't think he has a true concept how golf clubs work as tools in your hands, i.e., the engineering behind it. Well, I don't know, but I'm not going to disparage anybody. But like you and I and everybody else, we like to look at those kinds of things. I like to find out why people do what they do. And that's the engineering versus art, right? That's what it's all about. James Robinson, that's what it was. James Robinson, he was the third guy. He banned me from his channel for pointing out there were 5 divots after he hit 3 balls on the camera. Oh, come on, dude. Lighten up. It's golf. Oh, I got it in here. Yeah. That's pretty good. Terry Lockwood agrees. Jim Anderson, James Robinson golf. That was the guy. That was the one. I've watched him hit a few times. That guy has the most fluid swing, and he's throwing it out there at 300, and it doesn't look like it should go that far, but he is smoking it. So he very in shape individual. Very, very well done. Yeah, I think so too. I think he's a good guy. Tom Sagato, Myrtle Beach, and Jess Frank, Florida, teach the stack and tilt method. Very popular. So, John, I would be very, very cautious about the stack and tilt method. Okay. Now, and I'll say this, I'll tell you why. Must be getting towards the end. Okay. The stack and tilt method, the actual authors of it, there's two guys are the authors. One of them was only about 20 miles away from here. He now works in Pennsylvania. And I've got one of the original books. And the stack and tilt as a whole, unless they've changed a little something, was the predicator for a lot of like the swing surgeon and kinetic golf and a lot of these other ones where you try and swing where you don't hurt yourself, because And stack and tilt, all the guys that I've ever seen that use stack and tilt are awesome, awesome ball strikers with irons. They hit the irons incredibly well, but they hit the woods horribly. They hit. I'm going to get you on camera. I can't see you. Okay, we're almost done. Here, close the door. Reach in here and close the door. I know, but it's making me light here. Look, I'm blaring out. All because of what you did. Bones, get that. You can't get it. You need to grab it. So anyway, look at this. Oh, there she is. Here we go. We're gonna get back down here in a moment. So anyway, where are we going with this one? We did Ballard. He was good. Oh, stack and tilt. Anyway, what happened was as they got into the woods, they were not very good, and they started developing back problems. So just for what it's worth, I've not tried it. I don't know. I'm gonna try and get rid of it. Man, I'm getting blown out here. Thanks, Robin. Anyway, they get just so you know, going forward, this was something that happened in the beginning. Now, what other people have been doing is using that as a basis, using kinesiology to help the joints align so that when you go to turn, the whole body's turning, and that your joint pain or your joint usage is very minimalized, and you still get the same amount of effort out of it. That is some pretty good stuff. Golf dog, I'm brushing off my cobwebs with my ball spinner. There you go, man. Oh, Todd Kolb has TV, Golf TV, U.S. Todd Kolb, U.S. Golf TV has an instruction for seniors out of Minnesota. There we go. Very good, sir. Okay, guys, I made it all the way to the bottom, and it is time. We've gone a half an hour past our allotment, which is normal for us. Thank you very much for showing up. Again, hit the like and subscribe. Watch tomorrow when we talk about switching out shaft adapters and putting back into the clubs and doing the things that we do for them. And as always, right, let's get back to this part of it right here. And again, I thank you for sitting here and listening and watching and asking the questions. We've had some new folks from Florida. That was awesome. And, as it gets colder, take care of yourself. Make sure you don't go out and go out in shorts and get colds playing golf, at least those of us up here. And as always, let's see your scores go low.